Los Angeles, January 15, 1947. It was just after 10 o'clock a.m. Mother walking with her child spotted what she thought was a discarded mannequin in an empty lot near Lemont Park. What she saw instead would shake the city to its core. The body of a young woman cut in two, drained of blood, and grotesquely posed, her face carved into a permanent smile, her lifeless eyes staring into nothing. The press would call her the Black Dahlia. Her death would become one of the most chilling, unsolved murders in American history. The victim, who was Elizabeth Short. Elizabeth Short was just 22. Her father abandoned the family when she was young. Life was hard. She dreamed of escape. Born in Boston in 1924, she grew up during the Great Depression. Instead, she drifted between Santa Barbara, San Diego, Hollywood, working odd jobs, living in cheap hotels, relying on friends and admirers for shelter. Like so many others, Elizabeth came to California in search of fame. She had ambitions of becoming an actress but never landed a role. She had no stable home, no steady income, and often fabricated parts of her past. She longed for connection, but was plagued by instability. Despite the glamorous nickname, Elizabeth's life was anything but. The Black Dahlia persona created by the media mysterious seductive Denis Swaza distortion. Elizabeth was human, vulnerable, and very much alone. The crime scene, her body was found naked, bisected at the waist in a manner known only to trained surgeons. There were no signs of blood at the scene, meaning she was killed elsewhere and transported post-mortem. Her mouth had been slashed from ear to ear in a chilling Glasgow smile. There were signs of torture, cuts, bruises, lacerations, rope marks on her wrists and ankles. Her intestines were tucked neatly beneath her buttocks. Her body had been washed clean. The scene was carefully staged. Whoever did this took time and took pleasure. But those who knew her told a different story. Shy, soft-spoken, lonely. It wasn't a crime of passion. It was a performance. The media stormed the newspapers, sensationalized the murderer immediately. They dubbed her the Black Dahlia, inspired by her dark clothing and the noir film The Blue Dahlia. They painted her as a promiscuous party girl, a failed starlet with a dangerous lifestyle. Still, the myth stuck. Within days, the case consumed the front pages of every major paper. Photographers captured gruesome crime scene images. The LAPD was flooded with tips, false leads, and attention seekers. Then the killer did the unthinkable. He reached out. The taunts, letters from the shadows. A week after the murder, the Los Angeles Examiner received a chilling letter. Typed in block capitals, it read, "Here is Dahlia's belongings. Letter to follow." It came with a package containing Elizabeth's birth certificate, business cards, photographs, and an address book with pages missing. Days later, a postcard arrived, stating, "I will give up in Dahlia killing if I get 10 years. Don't try to find me." The items had been wiped clean with gasoline to remove fingerprints, but one partial print was lifted. It never led to a match. The killer was mocking the police. Another was found with Elizabeth's belongings, but couldn't be connected to the crime scene, toying with the press. And then the investigation. Too many suspects. No arrests. Internal corruption within the LAPD was later uncovered, possibly compromising the investigation. The LAPD launched one of the most massive investigations in its history. Over 150 suspects were questioned. Theories ranged from jealous lovers to serial sadists, doctors, soldiers, actors, drifters, but none stuck. One man confessed, only to be ruled out days later. The case went cold. "They can't talk to my secretary because she's dead." He uncovered disturbing evidence. Photographs resembling Elizabeth Short, medical instruments, and his father's familiarity with the surgical technique used. Leads dried up. Evidence was mishandled. The deeper detectives dug, the more the truth slipped away. The prime suspect drive George Hodel. Decades later, attention turned to a name buried in the original case files. Dr. George Hodel, a wealthy physician with elite connections and a disturbing private life. In 1949, he was investigated in a separate case involving sexual abuse. The LAPD placed listening devices in his home. On the tapes, he was recorded saying, "Files have disappeared. Witnesses are gone. Evidence degraded or lost," supposing I did kill the Black Dahlia. They couldn't prove it now. His own son, Steve Hodel, a retired LAPD detective, later reopened the case himself. Steve wrote a book accusing his father of being not only the Black Dahlia killer but a serial killer responsible for other murders in LA. Still, George Hodel was never charged. He died in 1999, a free man. Other theories. A city of secrets. Dozens of other suspects have been floated over the years. Some believe the killer was part of a sex ring with ties to powerful figures. Others point to mob involvement, given Elizabeth's rumored connections to nightclub owners. One theory suggests the murder was a ritualistic killing, based on the body's pose and surgical mutilation. But with every passing year, the case grows colder. Hollywood has buried its secrets deep. The legacy. The woman behind the myth, Elizabeth Short, never became a star, but don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss what's lurking in the dark. Books, films, conspiracy theories, even horror fiction have twisted her story into legend. But behind the myth was a young woman, lonely, hopeful, and human? Or has the real murderer been hiding in plain sight all along? She deserves more than sensational headlines. She deserves justice, and her killer, he may have walked among us, he may still. Call to action. If this story moved you, help keep Elizabeth Short's memory alive. Like this video, subscribe for more haunting true crime cases, and leave a comment below with your thoughts. Was George Hodel the killer? We post new videos every week.